was looking for an apartment during the busiest time of year with the World Cup going on, and this is the cheapest apartment I could find. I usually live in the Dubai Marina, but I had some friends coming round and they were going to stay in my apartment, and because I wanted my own space, I thought I'd find a cheap alternative for a period of a month while they were staying there. So the location, I looked everywhere for a cheap apartment. I was looking in the Marina, JLT, Dubai South, but I could not find anywhere which was half decent. Then I had to look further afield, and then I found this apartment in Majan, and it looked like it was very decently furnished. It looked like it was in an okay building and an okay community, so I thought, let's check it out. Okay, so Majan is about a 30-minute drive away from the marina. It's right next to Al Barari, which is in fact one of the highest end developments in Dubai. You can see this big wall of trees which separates Al Barari and Majan. So Majan is a relatively undeveloped community, meaning there's lots of buildings being built, lots of construction sites, and lots of empty plots of land. For example, for me to get to where I live, to the nearest supermarket, I've got to walk across this rubbly dirt, for example. So since I've been here, there's actually been a lot of development on this. They've now got some pavements, which is great. And also since I've been here, they've started planting trees and greenery. So in the future, I'm sure it'll be a nice and green community. But the benefit of it being undeveloped is that it's actually very, very peaceful if I compare it to the marina. I didn't realize how busy the marina was until I came here, and there's not any traffic noise, there's no people beeping. That was actually a very pleasant experience for me. I mean, the downside of that, because it is very undeveloped, it doesn't have the nice walkways the marina has. It also doesn't have much of a community feel. However, I did recently find Emirates have accommodation about a 10-minute walk away from where I currently live, and there's a nice community mall, coffee shops. I've actually been spending a bit more time over in that end of town now. Okay, so are there any issues with the apartment? Like any cheap apartment, you're probably gonna find issues once you move in. For example, when I first got here, I thought everything looks perfect, it's great. And then you go in to get kitchenware from the drawer. I open the first drawer, I can't open it because of the oven. I open the second drawer, same thing. So that's just one of the quirks about this apartment, I guess. Also, the bathroom, when I first got here, it always used to flood until a maintenance came and fixed it. The sink still leaks, so that's a bit of a problem. But overall, the apartment isn't bad. Okay, so the price. The apartment cost me $5,500 a month with a $1,500 security deposit, which I had to pay. And this got me a relatively large studio. It's more than big enough for me. It came completely furnished, and for a short-term rental, it's more than enough. And it was the cheapest price I could find at that point in time. I mean, but it does go to show how expensive short-term renting is, because if I'm paying $5,500 for this, that's exactly the same as what I pay if I broke it down on a month-on-month basis as my apartment in the marina. So that goes to show, one, short-term renting is very expensive, and two, how much apartment and rent prices have gone up in the last year and a half, say. So the cost of an equivalent place in this exact same building would cost roughly 30,000 dirhams a year. So if you break that down on a month-on-month basis, that's roughly 2,500 dirhams each month. Okay, so my opinion on Majan. So I've actually really enjoyed my time here. I found it very peaceful, and there's not a lot of distractions, which is very welcomed when I've been living in the marina for the last year with the hustle and bustle and the busyness. So for me personally, I actually really enjoyed it. However, would I want to live here long term? Well, now I found that Emirates crew live just down the road. maybe, but realistically, it's still a developing community. It's quite cheap, so you've got to factor that in. Also, if you don't have a car, it's basically you can't live here because it's too far out. You can't be getting taxis every day.